just like the Destiny Green. Got to be Jamal Jabari. They are, I think, a very, very impressive team at times. They've got insane mechanical ability, and they're a ton of fun to watch. So I have to say this every time that I cast Jamal Jabari, but if you're new to this team, if you're not familiar with them, because they are still trying to prove themselves in the NA scene, then keep your eyes peeled. That you might see some cool goals, you might see some insane clips from them. I think they're the strong favorites here. Winner bracket round 1. I don't think 72PC have got much of a chance, but the inexperience of Jamal Jabari could be their downfall, if anything.
Well, throughout this season, especially this split, we have seen one new team really shock and surprise us every single time. Europe having quite a few of those. North America has some of their own examples. Here is Toasty looking for the setup. That's a little bit too much contact. It's going to take the ball away from where he would like it. But maybe Jamal Jabari can put together those sort of results where they can go from future stars to genuine threats in this tournament. For those of you wondering, by the way, as you heard earlier on, Leaf talking about our other streams that we've got going. If one game of Rocket League is simply not enough for you, and wait a second here, I'll go to that in a minute. Just got to get the save from Ty. Then we've got the Rocket RB, who have currently got the Sonics against 0 issues. If you want to see Crow playing with his team for this tournament, that'd be a good idea, as that's going to go in the far side. LJ going to put the team up 1-0.
Jamal Jabari are all over 72PC already. 72PC can't keep up, it's quite simple. Very nice placement in the shot there from LJ, uncontested. And he picked his spot well. The 72PC have got a couple of options here. They can just sit back like they are right now and wait and see if Jamal Jabari are going to outplay them or outplay themselves. Or they can push themselves to the limit and try and take them on in this insanely fast-paced game that Jamal Jabari are very well known for. To be honest, Jamal Jabari look pretty consistent right now, so I think you've got to go the latter. They don't look like they're ready to outplay themselves today.
Seabass tried to find the angle, and he actually might have had it. Had the save not been there to at least prevent him. Toasty doing a great job. Every single time they're at least taking out one player for it. That's a bit of a misread, though. Chance to break away, but that ball is to nobody. LJ happy to just skirt around everyone that's trying to challenge. 2 players down. No one following up, but I don't think anybody from either team was expecting him to quite take it that far.
Yeah, LJ really needed some support there. He did so well, dribbled past 2 players. It's rare to see that these days in 3v3. All the high-level teams are getting better at following up the first challenge with another one before the dribbling player can to retake control of the ball. But that gap that 72PC left in their defense did allow LJ to get the quick recovery and the second outplay as well. Very impressive stuff. This
has been a reasonably calm game for Jamal Jabari. They've not been pressed at all defensively. Instead, they're just slowly putting offense forward. Seabass was ready for that one. Didn't seem like he was ever going to get caught out by it, but whilst they haven't been tested, they'll want to get that second goal soon. You're never comfortable on a 1-goal lead. This might be why. Good pass over to the side, a launching shot. Jacob should take over, but he's been very relaxed with the way he's defended this. And that's a huge bump. In comes Toasty. Doesn't get anything on it, though.
Loving these bumps. High air dribble bumps coming in from Jamal Jabari repeatedly. They just get a heavy touch to the ball and then go for the bump on whoever happens to be there. They look great at the moment. 72PC have had a couple of opportunities to attack, but they've been surrounded by several opportunities either side of their belonging to their opponents. Jamal Jabari, they're a pretty scary team when they're on. And if NRG are watching this, which I'm sure they will be, they'll be hoping 72PC make it through here. They're the more predictable team. They're a bit easier to outpace, as we're currently seeing. Jamal Jabari can do that. So I mean, if Jamal Jabari can outpace you, NRG definitely can. But yeah, Jamal Jabari haven't been perfect. A couple of whiffs, and there's a accidental backflip. Hasn't really amounted to much, but they're still warming up, I feel, as we start the day.
There's going to be one chance there for Ty, but could turn it around. And now Toasty looks to finish it.
Well played.
He's got himself that second one. And this has been all Jamal Jabari throughout this series, or at least this game. Johnny, I want to discuss with you very quickly the 72PC, the way they're trying to clear their lines at the moment, because we have discussed this, and I think it's a bit of a fine line to try and find, where we see some teams try and blast the ball, and we think, yeah, that's fine. Do that. It's perfectly acceptable for you to do that here. I feel like this version, though, that we're seeing from 72PC is the wrong example of when you should just be blasting that ball away, because every time they've tried it, Jamal Jabari have been ready for it. They're playing their way back out, and there's been no real gain available. As we're going to see a third attempt. Jacob will keep it away, and another good save. There's going to be finally finished off. Third strike is the charm.
Yeah, love the offense, love the aggression coming out of JJ. That's what you want to see. 3 players who are always looking to get involved in the play. No third man sitting at the halfway line on that one. They knew there was no threat of the clear. You mentioned it there. The clear balls have really not been that great for 72PC, who just looks so sluggish compared to Jamal Jabari here. And for all, we could talk about strategy all day. We could talk about, the different decisions that 72PC could be making to improve their chances here. But for me, it all comes down to the fact that they're just not as good in this first game. They are just getting beaten to the ball. It looks like there's a ranked difference between these two teams. Even if 72PC have got other levels to go to, this isn't it. This isn't what they need to beat Jamal Jabari.
LJ gonna bail out Ty one more time. Oh, what a goal. That is how you try and set up your teammate. Good luck. Ty tried for everything. I mean, he's not even got a choice. He's got Krasix coming in behind him to take him out.
Yeah, Jamal Jabari are just better right now. Sometimes that's all there really is to say about it. Rocket League's a very fast-paced game. It's a very quick game, just these 5 minutes for teams to show what they're made of. But it's very clear throughout the 5 minutes that we've just seen, Jamal Jabari are faster. They are hitting the ball harder. They're consistently outplaying 72PC. They're beating them in the 1v1 positions. They just never look like they're gonna ever get boost starved. Every single aspect of this game, it's all mechanics related. Jamal Jabari have ticked the box. 72PC, they need to step it up. They need to step it up a gear or 2 maybe if they're gonna have a chance here.
Yeah, for Jamal Jabari, that is perfect. And you were talking about how they might potentially match up against NRG. It's one that you look at and say, all right, they play 10 times. I reckon NRG still win 8 of them. But possible. It is always possible, especially with the way this format has been. It is the sort of matchup that if we were still in the Swiss system and you turn around and said, NRG have dropped one, who'd they lose to? Oh, they lost to Jamal Jabari. You go, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But this is now a format that would punish you a little bit more for that. So NRG will have to be on their toes against whoever comes out of this series.
I think they definitely have to be on their toes against Jamal Jabari. But I think, NRG versus 72PC right now, 10 games in a row, NRG win all of them comfortably. Jamal Jabari, they're not out of the woods yet. They look fantastic here. But I mentioned earlier on, their inexperience can be their downfall. They look great in the upper bracket in the last regional as well. And then they just got round 1 in the lower bracket. So they need to try to keep the consistency, keep the mental game focused, positive, because you can see mechanically they are the real deal. And as long as they keep communicating effectively to each other, they are going to be a real threat to anybody.
They've already shown their willingness to start playing the ball back as well. Something that maybe let's explore. Oh, that's still not managed to sneak in.
What?
How on earth?
That's a great pass, actually, LJ. And, pretended that he was going to cut in field, then actually got a really strong 50-50 high on the wall to go around the challenge. And then he just picked the pass perfectly towards his teammate there. That's the kind of assist that 72PC will be annoyed with because they're trying so hard to just blockade that near post and force Jamal Jabari to take a more scenic route. And it just doesn't work out. Jamal Jabari have just gone straight through them.
Oh, nice. Always second Krasix. Hook shot from him, and Ty at least able to keep that one out, but expect that offense to keep on coming real quick. As Krasix wanted one more attempt. If they are forced, though, to go the scenic route, I don't think Jamal Jabari will be all that worried. A very nice-looking map, and just as capable of making their own threats, as that's going to drop down. LJ didn't quite read it. One of the first offensive misplays that we have seen, and not one that's going to hurt them.
Even in the aftermath, though, you see that the whiff comes in for the attacker and the defender. Oh dear, now it's just the defender missing. 72PC, they look awful at the moment. This isn't anywhere near good enough. They are recovering so slowly compared to Jamal Jabari that they have no chance. Their boosts are getting taken away. They're getting beaten to every second ball that has happened in this entire series. They have to try and position more effectively if they're not going to just start driving faster. It's pretty crazy still, in a game where there is just a set top speed. That speed is still a huge factor. It's all about the acceleration. It's all about the efficiency of landings. It's all about the directions the players can path over, hit as many small boost pads as possible. This is, just automatic for Jamal Jabari.
Oh, here comes Jacob. This is going to be much needed, but instantly shut down. And you are 100% correct. It's about efficiency and making sure that you are in that top speed for as long as possible as Jacob called into action one more time. Still finds him and the rest of the team down by 2 goals here in game 2. Johnny, your life gets a bit more difficult later on as well. Because last week I started asking you to try and predict what the results currently were. But today we've got 2 streams, so a little bit more fun.
You're going to tell me we've got a hard to predict result. Okay,
nah, not yet. Not yet. Well, it could be. Who knows?
I'm sure.
That's the joy of our brand new game show.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch chat can play along. Tell you the score line that's happening on one of the other streams. You can guess who's winning. And I've been getting it wrong a lot of the time because
it's a difficult game, though.
I feel like you're cherry picking, Shogun. I feel like you're asking the weird ones, and you're making me look bad.
Oh, well, nothing weird about this. LJ, this has become pretty much the bread and butter of this team so far. They're just so quick to find each other. And again, it is coming off the misplayed clears, the misplayed defense showing from 72PC, because you can see the player automatically going behind. There's no threat that, hey, we've got to turn around and maybe start focusing about the defense. It's, you've already hit this to the floor. This is easy for us to control. I'm just going to go behind you and wait for the ball to come back to me.
Yeah. Jamal Jabari don't need any help to win this series. They are the better team here. It's quite clear. And if 72PC are going to start conceding possession to them, it just becomes even more one-sided. So 72PC, their plan isn't working. Their mechanics are just second class compared to Jamal Jabari. I think they just need to transition into a completely 50-50 ground-based game and just stop, the pace as fast as they can.
I have a question. Last game was 4-0, was it not?
I think so. The fourth goal was the 0 second or almost 0 second play. Obviously, the game is already over, but it was 4.
So this could be an unfortunate distinction if they can't find something. Oh my goodness. Played. That's right on the goal line.
It's actually a good save. It's a tough one because he had one player trying to aerial bump him out of the goal and another air dribbling. So he was forced to jump. But Ty still managed to avoid the first bump and get a good save on the ball. I say good save for a reason because it's very easy in those positions to just keep the ball out of your net, but have it bounce straight into the path of the third Jamal Jabari player, who, of course, will be advancing. They always love to send their third man into every play. Style is becoming more and more popular. I'm a big fan of it. I think it works in online Rocket League. It's going to be even better on LAN when teams are more likely to panic. So this is great to see, Jamal Jabari practicing what I think is going to be the style, the go-to style for winning LANs post-COVID.
Oh, that's going to be a good shot on target. There's number 4. And if you weren't convinced that this game was over, then the 8th goal in a row for Jamal Jabari will seal this one up. And you're completely correct, by the way. I just love how the meta has gone full circle yet again. We've gone from everyone starting off, trying to be as quick as possible. I mean, I think we spoke about this last week, how the old Penta squad, the one that would go on to be Method and prided themselves on being the quickest team possible. You show them where we're at these days, blow their minds.
Yeah. I mean, you just wonder where the limit is, because there are still slight inefficiencies, and even at the very highest level, the very best players in the world these days, you'll spot a bad landing or two, or you'll notice, some part where they've missed a flip or a wave dash, or, these little things that happen, because it is such a difficult game to perfect, Rocket League. But in the future, I'm sure that is just not going to be a problem. We're going to have games that are just almost perfect with every single movement being fluid and robotic. But we're not there yet.
I knew where we were going, and then Queso turned up last week and started going for the double commit with the entire intent of scoring. I've given up trying to figure out where we're going. That's for the pros to try and figure out. But what 72PC have got to figure out is how on earth they are going to overcome this. They have conceded 8, they have scored none, and they are 2 games down here, Johnny. This is a very difficult position to be in, and at the very least, if we don't think they're going to get a hold of this win, they still need to have something going for themselves heading into that lower bracket, because you can't go down there having just been smacked.
Yeah, a goal would be nice. I think that's probably the first thing that they need to try and sort out. But in these one-sided matchups, as much as it seems like, you know, just getting one goal is the way to come back, in my experience, it's all about defense. They need to stop conceding. If they can, you know, if they can avoid conceding for maybe a couple minutes, then they can start to think, okay, now we can, you know, up the aggression. Now let's try to, you know, take some risks, take some chances. Because if they keep conceding at the rate they're currently doing so, they just have absolutely no chance here. Jamal Jabari, they're not on track for the perfect 1-0 sweep, 1-0 every game, but they could go one better. Shogun, are they about to 4-0 72 PC 3 games in a row?
I would always used to describe it as the most boring series possible, which was the reason why I always wanted the 1-0. I don't know what we'd call it for the 4-0. Give us some suggestions on that one. Hashtag RLCS. And we'll definitely take a look. But right now, it's all up towards getting it. What would be very good, though, is to try and get that perfect sweep. No goals against. I believe it would be the second one in Jacob's career that he'd be on the wrong side of.
No.
Crucial for him to try and stay away from that.
Yeah, that's not the stat you want to be hearing. Commentated during your games, what is going on? This looks like a split one guild defense, where literally the defense is just split in two. The ball just goes straight down the middle. I think Jacob just panic flipped there. I have to imagine.
I don't know why he'd be pressing backwards, though.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I mean, obviously he has to press backwards just for a moment to if he wants to jump up slightly and lean back a touch, but yeah, that was a weird one. The fact that he would jump that early didn't really make a lot of sense. I thought he would accelerate first and then jump with some momentum. Could have been a controller malfunction, you never know, but whatever it was not what 72 PC need. They continue to be dominated. That's a really good breaker rotation there by Toasty to deny 72 PC what would have been a good chance on the infield pass.
Isaac's now over to the wall. That has unfortunately been the longest amount of offense we have seen from 72 PC across this series. We're going to want to try and keep a hold of it. See about Toasty! I'm so glad that was on camera. That is phenomenal. You better keep this out after the fact, LJ. You can't have a teammate do that much work and then just let it in. All right, definitely getting close to the limit of what this game is capable of.
What a read by Toasty. Flies up to the ceiling just to get his flip back, and then comes back down to intercept another high ball. That's ridiculous.
It's going to be Kratos. Oh, that's a huge demo, and they're not going to have it. 1-1. Jacob, the one to score it. He won't have that distinction yet again.
And it was a good full team play there. Nice play by Ty off the ball, getting the demo on one of the goalkeepers. And actually, chasing LJ up the wall. Don't know if LJ needed to run as high as that, but he was probably expecting, or trying to cover the double touch while thinking the rest of the goal is covered by his teammate, who actually got demoed in the play. So that was perfect from Ty. Opening up the net there for Jacob, who gets the first goal of the series for 72 PC. Is this going to amount to anything? Not a great start to the comeback, though, as a flip reset rebound from LJ, although this time the flip reset was purely for celebration.
You know what? These guys have been scoring great goals all series. I'm just going to ignore this one and go back to a point you were talking about earlier on, Johnny, which was you were talking about how it was the defense that needed to get sorted out by 72 PC. I think that goal just proved it, because that was the first time we saw them get offense, really, for a long period of time. And we saw just how good they can do with it. They found demos. They were making life very awkward for Jamal Jabari, and that's what we would like to see from them. But you've got to get yourself to that position. And to get yourself to that position, you've got to work on the defensive side. You've got to have those good clears. And that goal kind of emphasizes the fact of they're okay on one side of the ball. They just don't get to see any of it because the defensive side has let them down so much.
Yeah, they are just looking so vulnerable, aren't they? 72 PC can't find a safe place in defense. And, usually the defensive corner is a pretty safe location to just get behind the ball and take a 50-50 because so many bounces that can happen will favor the defensive team. It has to be a very precise bounce up into the ceiling and into the middle of the box in order for it to be good for the attacking team. Or straight into the net, I suppose, but that's super rare these days. So for that to not be a good location for 72PC to take 50-50s in just shows you how awkward this matchup has been for them. They continue to concede and they continue to let the ball center from the corner. Now Seabass, him contested here, he beats, oh my goodness, he's actually beaten a Jamal Jabari player to the ball there. That might be a first for this series.
Yeah, Krasix, I don't know what happened. Did Krasix get bumped
no, I think
on his way back?
He was going for boost. He may have just turned off ball cam at the worst possible moment there. Or either that or he just
maybe it's just an
realize
assumption that they were going to be fine.
Yeah, he just didn't realize Seabass was as close as he was. He wanted to take a little bit of a run up to that one, and he didn't have the time. He actually had to close the gap right there. And second goal for 72PC. This is significantly improving for them.
Now Seabass looks to take out LJ. And he did manage to do so, but it was the cavalry that arrived just in time. Still see how far Toasty rotates out. Like, he is all the way downfield.
Krasix just dancing past two 72PC players there. Lovely technique to side flip, flick the ball into the sidewall and get that faster landing so he can outplay the second player, even though the challenge timing was pretty good by 72PC. It's just the level of recoveries, ability that's coming out of Jamal Jabari is outplaying them. It's surprising them almost every time.
Toasty, that was supposed to be a pass for Krasix, and as good as Krasix has been, he needs a car twice the size if he's going to try and reach that sort of touch. Still 2-2 here. 72PC with a chance to not only get themselves their first few goals, but also try and take a win here. Maybe start building what would be one of the biggest shifts in momentum we have seen for a reverse sweep. It's going to go off the ceiling. Who's going to be first? This one, it is Toasty. Decides to put off the back, but actually no! He's tucked it right underneath the crossbar, and there was nothing the defense could do about it.
Yeah, what speed by Toasty, and the placement as well. Just made life so difficult for Ty. Yeah, he did own goal that, but it's got to be a forced mistake. I'm sure it was so close to going in, and the shot was coming in so fast. Ty didn't have really any opportunity to read perfectly what was happening. He had to jump up in the air for that one. It does happen, and it's just the shot quality of Jamal Jabari is too good. This is 72PC's best game yet, and they still, I think, are quite fortunate to be within one goal.
LJ wants to just try and make life very, very awkward over in that corner. He'll go the whole way if you're Jacob, and he's got to get it on top of the car. It's not going to happen. And Jamal Jabari have looked thoroughly convincing here in our first series of the second regional. Congratulations to them, and they've booked their place against NRG in the next round. Johnny, I know we want to talk about this series, but I need to start the game show real quick. All right, so the two matches that we've got going on have both played 2 games. We have got Sonic Skin Zero Issue over on the Rocket RB stream. On UGC, we've got E United against Vibrance. What are the scores on both of them after 2 games?
Right, I've got to go 2-0 for Sonics. As much as I'd love Kronovi's new team to do well. Maybe 2-0 for E United.
You've got both of them correct. Congratulations.
Okay, finally I did something right.
Quick shout, by the way, we are going to be very shortly putting the stream down just to try and fix one of the technical issues that we seem to be having. So if you do see the stream go down, don't panic. We are going to be back very, very shortly. You can still see those games playing out their final potential few matches. And when we come back, we're going to get ourselves into our next series of the day, which is going to be Loco against Down to Earth.